and welcome to the Town of Canmore's Council Candidate Interviews. I'm here with Ed Russell. Ed is a longtime Canmore resident since 1963. He's a former councillor, 2 to 3.25 terms, and he's a small business entrepreneur. A local booster of many activities. Let's hear more from him today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for the invitation.
Question number 1 is a little bit about responsible growth. How do you plan to balance Canmore's growth with preserving its small town character and surrounding natural areas?
Well, we've lost a lot of our small town character just by virtue of growth. We're poised to lose a lot more because there's a big expansion coming through the Smith Creek area. That said, we need to get some control. We owe the people that have got plans that they're committed to. We need to make sure that they get there. But as a municipal government, we need to make sure that we put out growth that benefits the residents of the valley, both the 2-legged and the 4-legged residents of the valley. I think we need to take a real good hard look at our land use bylaw and our municipal development plan to make sure that we're doing it right. And if we have to make changes, let's do it. Make the changes. We have to be careful. We're trying to protect. While we're worried about the growth in town, we're trying to protect the natural areas as well. So we got to be careful that we're not over promoting. Let's everybody go out and ride the Guy Lafleur Trail or whatever we're doing with that. We need to. This is a big juggling act. This ecosystem is pretty solid, but we don't want to wear it out either.
Great, thank you. This next question is a little bit about tourism and quality of life. What strategies will you support to manage tourism so it benefits our economy without overwhelming local infrastructure or housing availability?
Give me a second, I'm out of line on your cards. Where am I going with that one? Yeah, no. We need to assess the impact of what we're doing with our visitors. We can't accommodate everyone we have here. We're overcrowded. We're stressing out the local population. We're stressing out the infrastructure, traffic, big chaos. We need to consider that and own up to it. We need to stop and say we've got a problem and we need to come up with some strategies. Tourism is making us a good income in many cases, but we're struggling to manage. Businesses can't staff. We're relying heavily on foreign labor, which isn't reliable on a good day with government policy. We need to get, without killing it, we need to get the brakes on. We need to get the costs down for people, and the cost of operating businesses, the cost of living, then start worrying about our visitors. Our visitors are enjoying themselves here, but I find for me, when I hear, and sadly you hear it too many times, is, oh, this is cost more, or this is pay more. We need to get rid of that. We want people to come here and have a good time, but if they're overcrowded and they feel like they're being robbed, they're not helping any of us.
Thank you. Housing affordability is a very hot topic for Canmore. What solutions would you propose and support to increase the supply of affordable and workforce housing for local residents?
We need to get the cost down. That's the bottom line. And we need to, again, going back to land use bylaw and the other place, we need to find alternatives to housing or alternative styles of housing, not just building big high-rise and jammed-in buildings. Then we need to get the taxation down so that the landlords aren't insisting on cranking up their costs. As they keep raising, if they're paying 10% extra tax, they're going to pass that on. The business owners are being hit by taxes on their corp. We need to bring all of that down, and we need to get a handle on it. We got to get back out of the box, and we need to provide a little better than. I think if we can, we need to provide better than just packing into apartments. In years gone by, there was a brilliant housing program from the Alberta government that they titled under a forgivable mortgage. Basically, the numbers were such that if you bought a piece of property and you lived in it for 10 years, you were given a rebate from what you paid as opposed to what the value was set up. You weren't required to pay the rest. That was abandoned at the time due to the costs or the perceived cost of administering it. Well, now we've got a full-blown corporation, and we're not doing any better. Maybe go back a little bit, and we need to press for developing some. There are still pieces of land out here, and perhaps we have to slaughter some sacred cows to get into that land to use it for housing.
Thank you. A little bit about public infrastructure will be next. Much of Canmore's infrastructure, especially underground infrastructure beneath Main Street, water systems, and roads, is aging in need of major investment. How would you prioritize investments in the roads, the trails, water systems, and public transportation?
The priority has to be water and sewer. We need water, we need to flush the toilet. That's number one. Number two, we need to worry about our roads. Our roads are just jam-packed, and we've got some unique traffic situations that are cause of great distress and anger and frustration for a lot of the local population. We need to give, as much as we need the water and sewer first, we need to give some serious priority to that road structure, because the motorists are the ones who are ultimately funding a lot of that through their road taxes that they pay. The third priority, public transport, it's growing. It's growing, it's being embraced. It's there. I recall voting for Rome Transit when it got off the ground. But it's here. It seems to be doing fine, and it is a little more self-sustaining than some of the others, and than some of the other problems we have with infrastructure. And our trail network is pretty darn good. People are coming from everywhere. So the trail network could probably be the fourth priority, concentrating for now mainly on maintenance and upkeep without worrying about massive expansions.
Thank you. Downtown sounds like it's going to be seeing lots of change in the next 10 years. What is your vision for the future of Canmore's downtown core and commercial districts?
Downtown is under a lot of pressure. From my experience of talking to people, the merchants are not unilaterally in favor of the closures. It creates one problem that was brought to my attention just recently was the handicap access for people with disabilities is tough to get to the medical offices now because of the closure. So we're missing out a little bit with that. The biggest thing is we need to acknowledge that people need access. We're sort of dodging around we're dodging around parking, we're dodging around the costs of parking and the lack of parking. And that is a big issue. It stresses the locals beyond belief, or the locals who I'm communicating with so far. They're stressed, and I'm sure the tourists are less than happy as well because they don't know their way around or how to find it. Again, we got to acknowledge it. Then, Gateway area is so overcrowded. Now, Gateway took the position of bringing in private parking management, which is not really good for anybody, in my opinion, other than keeping Gateway's stuff under control. Those visitors who are victimized by it, and I use that term, are they're being given $95 tickets. How to ruin somebody's day. That benefits no one other than the parking management company. Shops at Canmore has its own special bits of problem, and I kind of lump it in as downtown because it's close enough. Shops at Canmore is a marvelous complex. Very nice, well laid out. Traffic and access to it is awful. You've got confusion, you've got chaos, you've got interesting traffic signs, no left turn at high congestion. That's causes some difficulties as well. And the one other thing that we need to address quickly, if it should have been done years ago, is commercial deliveries. When you see the car hauler pull up outside of what is now Wolf GM, formerly Canbo, and stop with one guy backing cars off and all the traffic has to go around. That's tough. Like you can't make that safe. And then now throw into the mix, we've got bicycles coming and going, and we have a large population of cyclists. And right now, we seem to be experiencing more and more conflict. If the cyclist, we need to get some regulations going. There are regulations for cyclists, and educate the cyclists and enforce the regulations. Educate the motorists, everybody else. Instead of worrying about cutting down another lane out of Railway Avenue, we got to stop and rethink that plan to make sure that traffic can come in, do their thing, get out, and do it all safely.
So far, Canmore has been very lucky in terms of wildfires. What climate adaptation or mitigation strategies would you champion to make Canmore more resilient to wildfires, flooding, or other natural climate-related risks?
Well, it's a controversial area. The whole climate thing, you can't get a group of 6 people, you'd probably get 6 different answers. The Cougar Creek Dry, for better or for worse, the Cougar Creek Dry Dam is done. Came in way over budget, took a lot of time, a lot of problems. Hopefully it's going to be worth it in the future. The fire guard work is fantastic. Absolutely. Hopefully it's enough, and we're not spare no expense to make sure we don't want to be Jasper. We don't want to be anything close to burning at all. The rest of it, we need to get some we need to consult people. With this massive divergence of opinions on the whole climate issue, let's get people's wishes, because the figures that were being presented whatever improvements we're making are minuscule in the big picture, and we need to do stuff that benefits local resident or benefits our town. We've got we're worried about air pollution, but this year we had a very good summer, but we've still got fire smoke in the air from Parks Canada burning. Is that neutralizing a lot of the benefits from all the other carbon reduction things? I don't have a good answer for me. I can answer for me personally, but it shouldn't. It needs to be dealt with. I'm not sure that when this last council was elected, arbitrarily declaring a climate emergency almost immediately, that the residents I communicate with, that wasn't really well received. Then we sent a delegation to COP28. It may have been, I understand it was sponsored from elsewhere, but did we get anything from that? Like, let's, we need to get proper knowledge, get it out to the public, and let's get a process going to deal with these issues, or firm up what we believe the issues are, and get it out to the public for them to make sure they're happy, and then let's do it. We got to make it better.
Thank you. Arts and culture is a big part of what makes up our town and the energy that we feel when people come here. How do you see the town supporting arts, culture, and recreational opportunities that will strengthen our community life?
I was there for the vote on Arts Place, and they just celebrated their 10th anniversary. At the time, there was a lot of skepticism of whether it would go well or not. And 10 years later, they're doing fine. They're growing. They're programming. I mean, whatever they're doing, don't touch it. We need to let them do their thing, because they're doing it really, really well. Our recreation facilities, we need to make sure that we're keeping our costs as close to affordable as possible. This is an old statistic, and I was not able to get it done in time for this presentation, but a number of years ago, I had the good fortune to tour a recreation facility in Gatineau, Quebec that was stunning, absolutely stunning, beautiful. And their annual pass for their user was $65 for a family. We're not close to that. We're not there, and we need to pay the costs, I get it, but at the same time, we need to keep that, well, not just Elevation Place, but we need to keep all of our facilities affordable for residents. Like, that's what they're here for. If everyone's to the door to pay to use our recreation facilities, that's not right, but we need to, you know, it's a bit of a delicate management job, and I hope we're doing the right thing as we are. If I'm successful to be on council, I'll have better knowledge of what is being done and make sure keep working towards it.
They say it takes a village. How will you involve residents in major decisions and make council more transparent and accountable to the community?
We need to communicate. We seem to be, and that's a personal perception that is shared by others when you talk, we're falling into the leave an email, or directing people through voicemails and various onerous pieces of that. I'm not sure what the cost savings are by going to these systems, but we need to have a better, we need more personal level communication right off the bat. We rely heavily on SurveyMonkey surveys. Most of those aren't offering a lot of alternatives, and rather than supporting someone's software program, we need to get out and get people's opinions, get them, hear what they've got to say, and bring it back to where I don't have to send you an email and you're going to get back to me within 2 business days or whatever number of hours. Get it, bring the personal factor in, and if that costs, if it makes people happy, if it makes our community members happy, we got to find a way to manage that cost and get it done.
Thank you. I know you've been on council before, so what's something that you can think of that you're most proud of?
Well, I was going to cheat on you on that question because I have 2 answers for that one. During my time on council, I was on the board, I chaired the board at the Bow Valley Regional Housing Authority, and we successfully completed a management restructure, revamped the whole operation, added some staff positions, and no impact to the budget at that time. We laid the groundwork, our board, I'm proud to say, laid the groundwork for the ultimate expansions that are there now, where this has turned into a heavy-duty, beautiful complex. And in between that, I got the thrill of a lifetime. I had to sign a $3.6 million, sign a loan agreement for a $3.6 million bridging loan. That was a wee bit of a thrill and an honor, and it all worked. And the one other one that I'm really totally proud of, Bow Valley Waste Management, the Francis Cook landfill, they had an arson attack. Somebody went down there and burnt the building down, just flat out, for unknown reasons, and no one was ever brought to task for it. No real cause established and no charges. So we were faced with rebuilding that complex. We rebuilt the maintenance, or the administration center, and I'm really proud to say we built, the majority of it was all with recycled products. It comes in, it's not quite net zero, but it was very close to net zero, and we brought it in under budget. Man, I'm proud of that one. You know, maybe you're not supposed to brag about your garbage facility, but I'm really proud of that. That project was marvelous. Had some brilliant help from the board members from the other municipalities, and we had a real good go-get-em crew.
Sounds lovely. If re-elected, what, if anything, will you bring different to the table this year?
I made a note about that one. The biggest thing to bring forward is get back to work, get back to focusing on who we work for. We work for the residents of Canmore. The taxpayer pays the bill, like it or not, and we need to be out there listening or providing information, listening to the feedback, and making decisions based on public feedback rather than just whatever we think or what the current theory is coming from somewhere. So what I hope to bring is, hi, my door's going to be open. Talk to me. Tell me what you need, and if I can't communicate with you enough, I'll get you your answers, and we'll try our best to make sure we can get as many people happy as we can.
Thank you. Thank you very much for taking the time to be with me today, Ed. And
You're
thank
welcome.
you for watching. You can see all the candidates' interviews on our YouTube channel, CanmoreAlberta.com, and you can learn more about each candidate at the forums that are upcoming. The Town of Canmore website has a schedule posted, and please do not forget to vote on October 20th. Thank you.